Good afternoon, everyone. Let's see. Good afternoon, everyone. Are you able to hear me? Hello, everyone. Go Blue! Woo! We're going to go ahead and get started. So if everyone can find your way to your seats. Are you able to hear me? Raise it up some more. Okay. I'll have to use my Dean voice. That's like my kids call that my really loud voice. She's going to use the Dean voice now. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome. I'm Beth Angell, in case I haven't met you yet, and I hope if I haven't met you yet, I'll meet you by the end of the day today. I'm the Dean of the School of Social Work. I used to call myself the new Dean, but as of July 1st, 2023, I don't get to call myself the new Dean anymore. I'm just the regular Dean. But I am so thrilled to welcome you all back to the school as we celebrate homecoming. This is my second homecoming with all of you. And as I've been walking around the room, what I've been really excited about is all the connections that are being, made or remade again, and that people are finding their people and people that you knew from a while ago. And that's really that's why we're here, right? That's what homecoming is about. It's about embracing your identity as a Michigan School of Social Work graduate and about connecting with other people who are part of that lifelong community. And it's so great to see so many returning, and I'm going to have you raise your hand, returning alums, yeah? Donors and friends, retired faculty, students, and full-time current faculty, yeah, or any current faculty, actually, all gathered together as one community. So welcome to all of you. And homecoming is really a time where we bolster college spirit. So as you can see, I've kind of embraced this whole color scheme. So this is the day to kind of get out that Wolverine spirit. And to converge and to catch up and to cheer on our team. And it's great to be a Michigan Wolverine, and I know that you feel the same way. Oh, yeah. Well, I'm very grateful to be one, and I feel really, really, really grateful for the warm welcome that this entire community has given me during my first year and some change at Michigan, and I'm really, really proud to be a Wolverine and to be a part of you. And it's really great to be able to celebrate here in person. I think I said that last year, but it still feels like something to be grateful for after several years in which we didn't get to do that. So let's just take a moment to kind of embrace that gratitude. I'm really grateful to see all of you and to be able to sit down together and to have lunch. The pandemic has changed us all. You know, none of us are really the same and won't be the same. It's changed our perspective, and we don't take times like this for granted. We really treasure them, and I think that's a gift that we got from that really horrible time. The pandemic has also changed our perspective on how we work, on how we teach and how we learn. And from a dean's perspective, it's changed how we plan. And so one of the things I want to share with you today is about some of the things that are going on in here in the school, what we're thinking about, what we're doing, and what we're planning. As you may know, the school in 2021 completed a very successful 5-year strategic plan, which focused on a number of priorities designed to keep us a top-ranked school. And the 5 goals focused on academic innovation, affordable education, community engagement, supporting research and interprofessional care, and continuing our long-standing support for social justice. And this plan was very successful, and it's yielded results that are helping to train the next generation of social workers, like our new curriculum with its pathways, which allows students a lot of opportunity to tailor their course of study. And we created online programs, which was very timely because we needed to do that anyway during a pandemic, which prioritized academic rigor and strength while developing new ways to make social work education affordable. Now, as we know, the pandemic changed everything, the way we interact, the way we now all know how to use Zoom, right? And our 5-year plan that we finished in 2021 was incredibly forward-thinking, but there's no way we could have anticipated what we would be living through from 2020 onward. And there's no plan that can anticipate that. And so what we are about to embark on, and it's very exciting as a school, is to think about our next 5-year plan, and to have a plan that sets a vision that will meet some of the challenges we're facing today as a society and as a school. We want to have a vision that's flexible and fluid, that allows us to respond to unforeseen circumstances like a pandemic, that responds to new opportunities of our changing field, and creates forward momentum to guide the future. So it's a really, really exciting process, and we're looking forward to engaging all of you as alumni and friends of the school in that process, because we want this to be a collective vision of all of us who are a part of Michigan social work. In a little while, Katie Richards-Schuster, who is our Associate Dean for Undergraduate Programs and Strategic Initiatives, is going to give you a little bit more background on this planning process and how you can plug into it. Now, it's too soon to tell you exactly what our strategic priorities are going to be over the next few years, but I can tell you that a couple of things that have been important to us all along are going to continue to be important to us all along. And one of those, at the top, is our quest to make a Michigan social work education more affordable. And second, that our diversity, equity, and inclusion work will always be front and center to what we do. First, let me touch on the affordable social work education piece. We've worked really hard through the development of our online program and other means to make our education more flexible and accessible to people who are out there working and want to get their social work, their MSW. And one of the challenges is that field education, which is such an integral part of social work education, makes it really challenging for students to keep an income stream while they're in school. It's a challenge that our students are making us aware of more and more all the time. And so our community, which is really spearheaded and inspired by student efforts, has put a lot of time and effort into this challenge, and we've scored some important wins. Here in Michigan, we have a new program that provides financial support to mental health service providers in public schools funded by the state. We anticipate soon adding workforce development programs in child welfare. And as a school, we've developed a philanthropic campaign designed specifically to support social work students during their field education. So that fund is called the Field Fund, and some of you may have heard about it because we've been sending out a lot of messaging encouraging people to give to it. And many of you have given to it, so thank you, and let's hear it for you for doing that. If you're anything like me, field education is one of the parts of your education that has really stayed with you in your memory, right? There's nothing that you remember so much as something that you actually did in practice. And that's really why field education is so important. So we know that it's very central. It's sometimes referred to as the signature pedagogy of social work. And so we really value that, but we also know that it places a lot of strain on students as they attempt to incorporate field education, their classes, and their other responsibilities, and to be able to make a living. Now, speaking of field, I want to just give a really quick shout out to our brand new Director of Field Education. I don't know if she's here today, but we have at least one other member of our field team here, Stacy Peterson. Stacy, can you raise your hand? Anybody else from our field team here today? Okay. Well, our field team is fabulous, and Stacy is part of that fabulous team. But Erin Kong is our brand new Director of Field Education, and she came to us from Michigan Medicine, where her new title here is Director of Field Education and Clinical Assistant Professor. And Erin is not new to the school because she's been teaching and providing field instruction for us for a very long time, and we're just super happy to have her. This issue of field education is one that we, in partnership with our students, have really been trying to tackle in terms of making social work education affordable. So we want to really thank the students in our Payment for Placements chapter for their partnership in working with us to raise awareness about this issue, to message about it, and to really cultivate that support. And so if you are thinking of making a gift to the school at some point in the future, I would point you toward the Field Fund as a way to prioritize one of our greatest needs. Now, second, I mentioned that diversity, equity, and inclusion will remain a central part of our plan. And I want to just underscore that. The university, as some of you might know, just completed the first 5-year phase of a university-wide strategic plan. And we around here call that DEI 1.0. So that was the first 5 years was the 1.0. And now we're all gearing up for the second phase, DEI 2.0. And it's really to set a course for how we continue to center diversity, equity, and inclusion in everything we do, and to build an infrastructure to ensure that that happens. Now, as social workers, we know something isn't going to happen unless you build an effective system for doing it, right? And that's something that we're really skilled at as social workers, is building systems that are responsive to needs. And so that's what we've tried to do in building a diversity, equity, and inclusion office and team. And I want to shout out to our Director of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, Daisha Price. Is Daisha here today? Okay. Daisha's everywhere. Daisha's everywhere all the time. That's what has been said about Daisha. She's everywhere all the time. And so anyway, we'll mention her in her absence. Daisha's amazing. And the plan, the DEI 2.0 plan that we're embarking on, includes really important initiatives around identifying the barriers that prevent our most marginalized students from obtaining financial assistance and special scholarship opportunities. And Daisha has lots of ideas about how to address that. Another part of the plan is to design and implement methods of conflict resolution rooted in restorative justice and dialogue, which is something that we have a lot of great capacity for at Michigan, and we want to find ways to interweave it into our everyday practices as a school. So we look forward to sharing some progress about that with you in the months and years to come. The next thing I wanted to tell you about is a couple of other new faculty that we have added this year that I want to make sure that you know about, and maybe you'll have a chance to meet at the reception later. Each of these 2 faculty members were hired as part of a special initiative to bring together social justice and anti-racism work with the arts across both our school and other schools that focus on the arts at University of Michigan. Now, you all know, or if you don't know this already, you may find out later, that that art holds a special place here in the school. We have an incredible art collection, and we've always been very intentional about incorporating the arts. And so these faculty hires are a way of us expressing that interest in interdisciplinary work, in moving social justice initiatives forward, and using the arts as a way to intervene, as a way to evaluate, as a way to communicate about social justice issues. These 2 new faculty are Associate Professor Candace Christensen and transitional postdoctoral fellow, and in a year from now, Assistant Professor Greer Hamilton. Candace has experience with community-based theater projects, activism focused on sexual violence prevention, queer liberation, and racial justice, and helping students identify, implement, and assess creative approaches to social work practice. Greer is a place-based researcher who examines how systems of oppression are embedded into the built environment and subsequently impact people's health, their well-being, and their use of public space. And she uses dramatic methods such as puppetry to bring communities together and dialogue about these issues. So these are really exciting new projects and ways of creating intersections within the school and also between the school and other places. So we're super excited to have them. Now, in addition to strategic planning, the launch of DEI 2.0, making social work education more affordable, and so much more, I have one more thing I want to make sure you know about, and that is that we are redesigning our School of Social Work website. And we'd love your help in that. We want to make sure we hear from the community. And so you will see flyers and a poster by the door that have a QR code, which now Thanks to the pandemic, we all know how to use a QR code because we've been seeing restaurant menus that way for such a long time. So we are holding sessions in person and online next week, and we would love if you would sign up for a session and share your ideas with us. You may think, I'm not an expert on websites, I don't know, but actually yours is the expert we exactly need, because what we want is to have a user-centered website that really reflects our school identity. And to do that, we need everybody's help. We need everybody's input. So please, you are a community we want to hear from, and we hope you'll sign up. Finally, I want to give a shout out again to all the students in the room. Let's see some hands. Okay. We often hear from our alumni and our donors that hearing from students and talking with students is what they really enjoy, and it's what brings them back. And so students in the room, thank you for being here, and please do mix and mingle with the folks who have come to see you and for whom you are the special light that brings them back. And now I'm going to transition to Hala Jomajuni, our Executive Director of Development and Alumni Relations, and Hala is going to provide some updates and recognize our wonderful alumni who are celebrating milestones this year. So thanks, everybody. Have a wonderful day today. It's great to see you.
Hi, everyone. How are you all? How's your food? Is it good? Catherine's does a great job. They're our caterer. So first, I want to thank Dean Angell. Is she not the best? We are so lucky to have such a wonderful dean who's both strategic and thoughtful and kind and warm and all the things that you want in a leader. So I just first want to say that, and we appreciate you, Beth. So I have the pleasure today of stepping in on behalf of one of our alumni board members who was going to present today, but had to be out. So I'm going to give remarks on her behalf, and we're going to send good wishes her way and to her family as well. First, I'm going to start with recognition of our alumni board. Members of our alumni board who are in the room, please raise your hands really, really high so we can see you, both of them. We want to see you. Thank you all so much for what you do for the school. I'm going to just tell you a little bit about what the alumni board does. So our alumni board is 33 members strong, all of whom are MSW or PhD alumni. And the charge of the board is to foster an enduring interest among alumni in the school, to strengthen ties between alumni, students, faculty, staff, and friends. Friends means donors in this context, just so you guys know. Generate financial support, act as ambassadors and advocates, and provide input and advice to school leadership, which we did actually today during our quarterly meeting. If you are interested in joining our alumni board, please talk with current members of our alumni board, and I'm going to ask them to raise their hands again so you know who to go to and talk to. And yep, all right, raise your hands. Joe, who else is there? All right, all hands are raised. Please talk to them if you're interested in joining the alumni board, and they'll tell you all about it. We accept applications on a rolling basis, but the applications, we stop reviewing them at around springtime when decisions are made. So if you want to join now or make your nomination now, sooner than later. So I'll just share with you really quickly some of the things that our alumni board members have done this past year include conversations around strategic planning. They've been a sounding board for DEI 2.0 plans that Dean Angell mentioned. So we had like an urgent meeting to get alumni input prior to submitting our DEI 2.0 plans because we wanted a perspective from outside of the school, and they're a really critical constituency to helping us have that perspective. They've been a sounding board on things like our ongoing magazine, which our marketing communications team produces, so that way we can understand what it is that alumni really want to hear from the school. And we are just so grateful to our board members. Our board president, Sabrina Clark, could not be here today, but I think she's probably watching online. Hi, Sabrina. And I just want to take a moment to thank Sabrina specifically because she is an extraordinary president, and we are so grateful for you, Sabrina, and we wish you were here in person, but we'll look forward to next time. So with that, please give a round of applause and thanks to all members of our alumni board. All right. Next up, I get to introduce and recognize members of our alumni retiree group. Our alumni retiree group are over there. Wave your hands. There's our alumni retiree group. So this is a grassroots community-built organization or community group committee that started by Rhea Braslow. Is Rhea here? No. And Judy Levick. Judy. Where they said, just because we've retired doesn't mean that we stop being social workers. And so they wanted to create a community for themselves to be in community with one another and to talk about things that they're doing in their retirement days. They meet regularly every other month. They meet via Zoom, and they engage and invite members of the school community to kind of hear what's going on within the school. So if you are interested in joining the Alumni Retiree Committee, there's a sign-up sheet in the back of the room. Just know that that's going outside of the school, so that list will be given to the grassroots community. And so just know that if you sign up, that we're going to share that with Judy. And we hope that you will consider doing that. So again, please join me in thanking Rhea and Judy for their leadership of the group, and let them know if you're interested in joining. Whew, I feel like I've been up here for so long. The next thing that I get to do is the most exciting part of my time up here, which is to honor milestone reunions. And I begin with a 60th reunion celebration for Mr. Robert Bob Robinson, 1963 alum. You're welcome. Congratulations, Bob. Next, I get to introduce the 50th year reunions. We have 4 of them. First is Althea Baldwin. She's not here? Okay. Next is Wendy Furshey. Wendy. Dee Mabry. Dee's not here? Okay. And Ann Ungerth, she messaged me this morning and said she wasn't going to be able to make it. Next is our 45th year reunion. We have 2 people who we're expecting today. Laura Strom Hatch. Is Laura here? Laura's not here. Next is Jackie Chambers Thomas. Well, let's clap for them anyway. 45 years is a long time. That's pretty awesome. And then I'm going to start just going down the list for the sake of time. So we have David Fisher, 35th year reunion. I think I saw David. There's David. Congratulations, David. We have Joe Yaffe, PhD, 35th year reunion. Congratulations, Joe. She's a member of our alumni board as well. So congratulations, Joe. Julie Palmersville Steiner. There she is, 30th reunion. Congratulations. Jackie Sprout. There's Jackie. Jackie is celebrating her 30th reunion. Congratulations, Jackie. And we have Peggy Bowden. Peggy is celebrating her 25th year reunion, and Peggy could not be with us today, but she is in our thoughts, and we're sending her all the love. Minnie Cabin. Minnie Cabin here? Nope. Minnie is celebrating 20th year reunion. For 15th year reunion, we have Hazelette Crosby Robinson. Not here? Okay. And then next is Alex Simpson. I have not seen Alex, and he's celebrating a 15th year. And then Greg Hoffman. Is Greg here? He's one of our Leos. Okay. Greg is celebrating 10th year reunion, and then I just have 2 more. Bear with me. And we're going to go up to 10th. So if you're a 5-year reunion, sorry, but you have to wait till your 10th year. So Joe Riley graduated in 2013. Yeah, Joe. And then Sarah Rollins. Sarah here? All right, Sarah's not here, but we're going to go ahead and give a round of applause to everyone celebrating milestones. And I just want to end by saying I feel so grateful to be part of this social work community of people who are so deeply committed to social justice. It is my honor to be with you. And next, I'd like to invite MSW student Shira Hammerslaw to the stage, who is also a member of our student government. Come on over, Shira.
Thank you so much, and congratulations to all the milestone reunions. That's very fun. So hello, everyone. My name is Shira Hammerslaw, and I'm the Vice President of the School of Social Work Student Government, formerly known as the Student Union. I was born and raised in Ann Arbor, the daughter of a professor, or as the townies like to call it, a proper faculty brat. I'm in the program evaluation pathway and will be graduating, fingers crossed, in April 2024. A year ago, I had no idea what program evaluation even was. I had no exposure to social work and very little experience with nonprofits or other social impact organizations. I just knew that I wanted to make a difference. I was pure luck that the #1 school in the country also happened to be in my hometown. When I started the program, I decided I would do things that once scared me. For example, while studying for my bachelor's in psychology at Reed College in Portland, Oregon, I never joined the student government because I was too nervous to put myself out there and open myself up to scrutiny or criticism. It has been a few years since college, 5, but still some. And I have grown since from being in my late teens to now my late 20s, and I've learned to care a bit less about what other people think. I now know that scrutiny and criticism are ways to grow and are not inherently bad, even if they are necessarily uncomfortable. When I entered Michigan's MSW program last year, I had a few more years behind me and more experience to draw on. In this incredibly supportive environment, I'm empowered to take on leadership roles and follow my passions. My time at the School of Social Work in Michigan has enabled me to find my voice as an activist, and I have discovered a love of advocacy and leadership in myself here. In my first semester, I was elected vice president of the student government, in addition to getting involved in about 1 million other projects, clubs, and initiatives, as I think many of us do. Potential students and new students often ask me what makes this school special. It's the people here. That's really the only correct answer. I feel so lucky to be a student here because everyone cares so deeply for their community and is willing to stretch their understanding of the world to try to better it. We challenge injustice when we see it and ask thoughtful and necessary questions while remaining open to criticism because it helps us grow. The people in the school have open hearts and open minds that they use to advocate for the needs of others, and their passion translates into their work in the world. These qualities are not just reserved for the students, but resonate throughout the entire school. In fact, while serving on the student government, I've had the privilege to work closely with Dean Angell, the amazing people at the Office of Student Services, like Aaron, Tim, Callie, the incredible Michelle Woods, holding it down in the Career Center for us, and so many other people like Barb Hiltz, Kate Seckler, Robert Ortega. I'm floored by their patience, willingness to listen, and support for the student voice in everything that they do. Their commitment to student success is truly remarkable. And I know many of us feel fortunate to be in such an enriching environment. Within my first month in the program, I was impressed with the amount of tuition funding available, the incredible quality of the faculty and staff, and the vast amount of opportunities available to me by virtue of being a Wolverine. I cannot mention enough the fabulous faculty, like my own mentors Sue Ann Savas, Dr. Daisha Price, Justin Hodge, and so many others. One of the foundational strengths of the faculty here is that they do the work, not just in the classroom, but also in their communities and with their clients. By having professors who are also professionals, they bring in real-world examples and can tie the curriculum to what's actually happening in the world. This takes our work out of the strictly academic bubble that grad school can sometimes become. The curriculum at the MSW program has encouraged me to always consider privilege, oppression, diversity, and social justice in the work that I do, and that has inspired me to help develop DEI initiatives for large organizations after I graduate. Serving in the student government has taught me how to work with people toward the common goal of improving lives of my fellow students. I enjoy my role as the person that my peers can consult when they have suggestions on improving the school or want to get more involved in leadership. In the 4 terms that I have served, I have recruited and coordinated many students to be placed on numerous administrative committees in the school. In addition to standing committees that take on the subjects like curriculum and praxis, I've also worked alongside students to develop committees, clubs, and passion projects based on their emerging concerns and ideas that align with university needs. I've also worked to redo the student government constitution to improve students' lives by developing pathways for students to receive funding for professional development and establishing an emergency fund for students to request, no questions asked. I organized a student resource fair, worked with many affinity groups and administrators to address student concerns, and facilitated 2 school-wide town hall meetings. In my last year, my appreciation for how special this program is has grown exponentially. As I turn to the future and start to look at the world post-graduation, instead of feeling dread or anxiety, I'm eager to enter into the cohort of such an incredible group that are the alumni of this program. Actually, in my field placement at Emergence Collective, I work with a fabulous team of 5 women who are all alums of this program. 3 of them met in a class their last semester, and then a year later they founded a company together. So now, 5 years later, they're moving out of being a startup into a young organization. If they are any indication of the caliber of alumni coming out of this program, I know that I have nothing to worry about out there. Thank you all for being here today. Welcome home, and go Blue. Also, if you're interested in buying some merchandise from the School of Social Work Student Government, there's a QR code on your tables. Our website launched today just for you, and we have specifically alumni merchandise on there as well. Yes. So thank you all, and now I'm going to pass things on to Shawnee Horn. Thank you.
Thank you, Shira. My name is Shawnee Horn. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm very happy to be with you here today. I self-recognize as a social worker, a musician, a mother, and a global citizen. I'm a student in the part-time online MSW program, which I began with the Master Track certificate, and I will have been here for 3 years when I graduate in December. My pathway is interpersonal practice. Life circumstances led me to attend graduate school later in life, and the flexibility of the program I chose helped me continue to be a present parent and to work during this time. Because I'm a returning student, many of my online and residential class peers have been significantly younger than I am, relatively intuitive in their use of technology, and many do not have 2 teenagers at home. My experience in the MSW program has been illuminating for several reasons. One reason is that I hadn't considered that group and restorative facilitation skills would become a vital and core part of my life. For this, I'm grateful to my mentors, Professors Hiltz and Ortega, who encouraged me to facilitate many of the School of Social Work's community conversations, which are open dialogues based on restorative and intergroup practices between students, staff, and faculty. Through these conversations, we've been able to share perspectives, know each other in greater depth, and learn from each other. In addition to community conversations, I attended many workshops and work groups which focused on topics micro to macro that have laid foundation to my journey to serve as a trauma-informed, culturally humble, evidence-informed social worker. Altogether, these experiences were and remain instrumental to my approach to social work and to life. During my field practicum, I've had the opportunity to serve as clinical therapeutic support for individuals and their families. My supervisor, Paige Barrett, now Paige Garcia, congratulations, she's watching, an alum of this program, modeled having expert clinical skills, ethical grounding, awareness of intersectionality and oppression, and active empathy, all at the same time. I experienced being welcomed and supported to build competencies and to join the field. One very special moment for me was when a client with a very different identity to my own sent me a message saying that the work we did together had changed their life and their perspective on help seeking, which is very stigmatized in their family and community. They then said that they were planning to spend time and energy sharing their experience so that others may also consider finding support. When I received this message, I thought of my professors and other mentors here who work tirelessly to pass on their knowledge and perspectives. For example, many of the communication skills I use for client engagement came from Professor Price and her respectful, holistic, intentional approach to person and family-centered care. Lastly, the MSW program has reinforced my point of view that we are interdependent. That is, one person's well-being depends on connection with others. This aligns well with my background. I grew up in an immigrant family that prioritized collective cultural values, an appreciation for the interrelatedness of each of us in the community and the larger world. I believe that everyone is part of the social ecology and therefore needs to be fully recognized and included as essential to the health of the larger community. I've been grateful to find this reflected here at the School of Social Work. My time at the SSW has been a journey in which I have crystallized important lessons and approaches from mentors and peers with my own beliefs. I appreciate that learning in this space will be ongoing, and I'm thankful to do this in a community that I admire, respect, and value. And now it is my pleasure to welcome Professor Richards Schuster.
I mean, it is very hard to follow such incredible student speakers, so I feel like we should give another round of applause. Problem of being a little short. Okay. Now, oh no, you can't see me. Okay, we're gonna just do this. This is what we do in social work. We are flexible and adaptive. Okay. Fantastic. Okay, now I need to figure out how to. Emma's gonna help me. Do this. It's okay if not, we can just talk about it. While we're trying to pull this up, so.
One second.
Okay, well, maybe we'll just go with it. I'm Katie Richard Schuster. I'm a faculty member here in the School of Social Work. I'm also an alum of this program. I'm an undergrad alum of the University of Michigan and did my doctoral work here in social work and sociology. So I'm excited to be here kind of on multiple layers of today's lunch. So, but the reason I'm here is that I am charged with helping the school think about strategic visioning. And I'm very excited to be in this role. Prior to this, I'm a faculty member in the community change pathway of our school, and I've also been very involved in our undergraduate minor program, helping to start that from paper to practice, and we have a really active undergraduate presence here in the school, so it's really exciting. But in this role, I get to pull all of these threads of work together to think about and help the school to think about where we're going to head as what's our vision going to be for the next 3 to 5 years. So I wanted to just give a few minutes to talk a little bit about how we're thinking about doing that, and then actually ask you to be part of helping us kick this off by asking you to contribute a little bit to us as we're building our foundation. So, but a few slides just to help give you a sense of where we're headed. So in terms of the purpose of what we're going to be doing for strategic visioning, this is going to be something that we're unfolding over the course of this next year. We are hoping that this is going to provide us a way to envision who we want to be as a school for the next 3 to 5 years, that this isn't going to be a plan that just, we're actually intentionally not using the term plan, and we're using the term vision or directions or thinking, because what we want to do is to create something that will help guide where we're going to head, that's going to help create the compass for where we're going to head, but not necessarily tie us down to specific programs, because as we know from what has been happening with the world, things change, things evolve. So we want to create something that's going to be adaptive, flexible, and allow us to kind of guide where we're going to be heading over the next couple years. So some of the things that we are bringing to this process, and this is starting to be where you all come in, is that we want this process to be something that is collective, that's participatory, that's shared, something that we are all can be a part of and also see ourselves as part of. So our stories are going to be at the foundation of this plan. We want this to be thoughtful and purposeful. So as I said, we don't want this to be a plan that we do and then just gets put on a shelf, and then 5 years later we were like, oh, whatever happened to that work? We wanted something that's, people know who've done strategic plan, that sometimes happens. We want this to be something that is alive, that can evolve, and that can be a support for us. We want it to build on our strengths. We want it to energize our work, but we also want to recognize that this can help us to think more strategically about what we're doing. We know we can't just keep adding to our work, that we need to be able to think about how this can help us to both create new ideas, but also reflect on some of the things we're doing, maybe stop some of them, sunset some of them, or continue to keep going. So that's kind of some of the principles that we're bringing so far. We wanted to just give you like a little bit of a working timeline, because you may be seeing this over the course of this year. We're really in the getting started phase, and launching this with our faculty, with our staff, with our students, and now with you as alums, and trying to kind of create the on-ramp for this process. Over the course of the next 6 to 12 months, we're going to be doing some work to think about who we are in terms of our values, in terms of our mission. We're going to have opportunities to bring our school together in different ways to think about this as a collective. We're going to reach back out to you all to get feedback and to get advice, with the goal that by next summer, we'll have some of these themes that have been the kind of the collective process of all of our work that we can share back to you as a first step towards creating this vision. So that's kind of where we're headed over the next year. And so that brings us to today. So alumni, you are a critical component of our group. There's over 17,000 social work alums. Yeah, I said the same thing. I was like, wow, that's quite an incredible group. And so we want this to be a plan that you can both feel a part of, that you're connected to, that you can help us shape, both for the school, but also for you, right? We were talking about this at the earlier board meeting, that we want this to be something that not only helps the school to think about where we're going to head in all the aspects of the school, but also can be a reinvigorating of our own relationship to who we are as social workers, and how do we want to live out these elements and vision and principles in our own work and in our own lives. And so your voice, your ideas, your stories are going to be critical to helping us to build this collective vision together. So we're going to actually ask you to help us get started today. So I know that there's lots of plates and salads and things on the table, but I believe that each of your table has a notepad and some pens, and perhaps you can kind of rip off a piece of paper from that notepad, or maybe there's some additional notepads that can be passed out. But we know that there's a range of wealth of stories here in this room. So we have our Mr. Bob Robinson, our 60th year alum. We have 50 years alum, and so many in between, students and so we want to hear your stories. So we're giving you two options. we would love for you, and you can we both want to capture this in writing, but we also hope that this can be an opportunity for you to kind of share your story at your table. We would either love to hear you reflect on an experience from the time you were in the School of Social Work and think about a proud moment from when you were here, maybe why it stands out to you. And or if you're going to talk to your friends or your family members or your coworkers or your community members about your alma mater, about this School of Social Work, what words would you use to describe it? What would you say this school is all about? So those are the two things that we would love for you to kind of tackle for a few minutes and get your ideas down on paper. This is going to be the foundation for building this collective vision. We will look forward to sharing back some of these collective ideas with you. And so it's an opportunity for you to get to know your table and share some of the stories. So we're excited about this work. I'm going to forward, and then I'll come back to this slide so you can have it. Just we'll share back for you. I hope that you will look for opportunities for you to continue to engage in this process. We'll be sending out my email if you have any questions, thoughts, or you yourself are really excited about this and want to engage further. I would love to talk with you. So with that, I'm going to let you do some work, and then I'm turning it over to Dean Angell. So I'm going to see if I can go back. Yeah, there you go. Thank you for your stories, for your ideas, and for your thoughts.
Thanks so much, Katie, and thank you to all of you for helping us launch into this really exciting process. And thank you, everyone, for such a wonderful program. My role is to kind of close out our formal program with some thank yous and shout outs. And I want to first give a quick shout out to our development and alumni relations team. And that includes Hala, Nancy, Emma, Brianna, along with their student workers, Nikki and Gabby, for all they did to make today so wonderful. And I also want to thank our wonderful facilities team, Jerome, Jeff, Adam, for their work, and our Marcom, AV, and web teams for their support of today's event. So let's. Now, I want to give one very special thanks, my sincerest thanks, to Emma Krasaniak, our Assistant Director of Events and Annual Giving, for her years of service to our school and for putting on fabulous events with exquisite attention to detail. In about a month, Emma will be transitioning into a new role within the university to become a major gift officer for Taubman College. So, we're really excited for Emma, and we're also really sad. Since this will be Emma's last School of Social Work homecoming event, please join me in thanking her for her wonderful service to the school over the last 7 years. Thank you, Emma. And thanks to all of you for being here for homecoming. I hope you have a great time making new connections, reigniting old connections while you're here. Please stay and enjoy the reception today and the wonderful fall desserts that I understand are going to be served. I hope that you'll find me if we haven't met yet and introduce yourself or reintroduce yourself. I'd love to meet you. For those of you who are interested in the Social Justice Art Tour, please see Nikki Williams, who's here in the center of the room with the camera. So is a man of many talents. Nikki is our photographer and also is an art curator and expert, and he will direct that tour. And tomorrow, apparently, the Wolverines face off against the Scarlet Knights from Rutgers, which happens to be one of my former institutions. And I know a lot of us are going to be watching. I will be wearing maize and blue, and I know you will be too. And so I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and go Blue!